You call that a belt? This is a belt. That's not a belt, that's the physical embodiment of small dick energy.
I just watched that back. I knew it was shit. Don't at me. I've actually been putting off this video because of a combination of laziness and busyness. Busyness breeds laziness because, you know, I'm lazy by nature. And when I get busy, I just want to be lazy after I've been busy. Where was I going with this? Yeah, and I'm glad I did because WWE just keep giving me material. I mean, I was made to watch Bad Blood last night and mostly I was bored out of my mind, obviously, but oh my god, it was worth watching the show for that nonsense. I mean, how does the production meeting for something like that even go? You know? Guys, AEW's belt is much prettier than ours. What do we do about it? We make a bigger version. Nothing says inadequacy complex like a bigger version of the one they've got. Wait. What if we vajazzled it? Well, they do say if you can't improve something, you can always roll it in glitter. And how about if the vajazzle was the colour of snot? Yes, we'll tell people it's the colour of money, because we're only doing this because our terrorist funders say we should, and they love money. But it's actually snot. Someone sneezed on our belt, and that's no one will see it coming. Genius. Pub? Oh, but there's no such thing as bad publicity. Bollocks. This is publicity that not only signifies that they think of AEW's belts as better than theirs, although they're not supposed to even acknowledge that they exist, and tells the world that they will do anything. They'll bend over backwards for these people who are regularly abusing human rights and killing people who oppose them. But fuck it, money. I actually wanted to talk about something Darby Allin said recently. He said WWE are like Taylor Swift and AEW are like Slayer. There's no question that WWE sell more tickets, make more money, but there's nothing wrong with what Slayer do, what AEW do. Some people find it offensive, and that's up to them. It's not a bad metaphor, but as my best mate and fellow Gangbang Gang member Jamie pointed out, Taylor Swift has never, to the best of my knowledge, been involved in sexually harassing employees, paying hush money to sexually harassed employees, sexually trafficking employees, taking money from a aforementioned Gulf state with no concept of human rights, laying off lots of employees during a pandemic, then recording record profits, or the Katie Vick angle. So in that respect, I don't think it's a very fair comparison. WWE are R. Kelly. They were wildly popular in the 90s. They've done some extremely suspect things. A lot of people will keep apologising for the suspect things they've done because they love them so much. Actually, that's not fair. R. Kelly was convicted of doing some awful things, and we don't know how much WWE are going to end up being convicted of as regards awful things. So, WWE are P. Diddy, or Puff Daddy, or Sean the Rapist Coons, whatever he's going by these days. Wildly popular in the 90s, recycled a lot of old material, shagged a lot of women he couldn't have got if he wasn't famous. Yeah, we're sticking with that. And yet to be convicted of awful sexual offences. For the record, I don't think AEW was Slayer. ECW was Slayer. They stuck to one thing and they did it extremely well, and they didn't care how many people they damaged along the way. Don't get me started on the WWE version of ECW. That would be if Slayer did a reunion tour. Instead of having Paul Bostaph or Dave Lombardo on drums, they got Lars Ulrich. Name recognition is great and will draw eyes, but if you take away one of the most important elements and replace it with some weak-ass shit, people will get annoyed. AEW, because of their intention to bring in lots of different influences, different elements to their wrestling, are more like Bring Me the Horizon. They started out hard. They tried a lot of different things. Results are more good than bad, but not universally good. When it's good, it's very, very good indeed. When it's bad, it's not. While we're on it, I'm enjoying this now. WCW and Metallica, when they were at their peak, they were borderline untouchable, responsible for some of the greatest moments in the genre's history. It's been a very long time since they did anything good, anything remotely good, and when it was bad, it was awful. And no matter how bad it gets, you'll always find some prick who's prepared to defend them to the hilt, regardless of how far they actually fell since they were great. I'm enjoying this. NJPW is like my sugar. There's some technically brilliant stuff. It hits very hard. You've got to properly immerse yourself in it to enjoy it. If you just sort of dip a toe in it, you're going to walk away going, what the hell is that about? What's all the fuss about? But it is worth sort of sticking with it.
Just noticed a little pool of blood has formed almost right in the centre of my tattoo.
While we're on music and comparisons that I'm going to stretch for the purposes of my own entertainment, let's not forget this guy.
Fuck BM Punk, fuck BM Punk, fuck BM Punk.
This week's invective leads me to draw an unfortunate parallel, but I'm going to stick with it. The CM Punk Triple H rivalry of the summer of punk is like, the way it's ended, it's like the Kanye West Taylor Swift rivalry. When that began, Punk is Kanye West in this instance. When that began, everyone was like behind Kanye. He was like the biggest star in the world. And inadvertently, that began his descent into becoming a professional clown. Eventually, he had to say things just to stay relevant about Taylor Swift. Triple H was Taylor Swift at the point, the big corporate juggernaut, if you like. And now, Taylor Swift is the biggest star in the world, and Kanye West is a ranting Nazi. I'm not calling CM Punk a Nazi, but he does belong to Triple H. He says whatever Triple H tells him to say. He lost that rivalry. That is one of the more one-sided rivalries long-term in wrestling history. Triple H owns him now. And that's about as far as the voice of the voiceless could fall. He's not a Nazi. And Triple H is not Taylor Swift. One other thing I've just remembered. Last week, it was fucking 3 weeks ago. I don't know, I'm so lazy. I made an amazing joke about Arcadiora, and about 37 people saw it. So I'm going to tell you all again, and I will keep doing this every week until I crack 100 viewers. Arcadiora needs to marry a man with the surname Covenant. That's it for another episode. As you might be able to tell, I had a break. I made a stir fry. I'm still finding rice in my beard. There is one other thing, actually. Booker T said this lately. For those of you who understandably couldn't be bothered to read the whole thing, he basically said Ethan Page is a star now, he's in NXT, or is it AEW, he was just another guy. That's fair, he was just another guy in AEW. But the only reason he's a star in NXT is because they got him from AEW. Ethan Page goes straight there from TNA, he becomes just another guy. AEW built his star, NXT propelled it, because WWE are bitter bastards. Then it gets really comical. He says about how Adam Cole was a superstar in NXT and now AEW, he's lost in the shuffle. You don't hear a lot about him. Oh, I don't even know where to begin with this. He's not lost in the shuffle, he's injured. Anytime he's been fit, he's been prominent on TV. He is a primary character in pretty much any angle he's in. Not every angle is successful, don't get me wrong. And I'm not arguing with the glory days of the Undisputed Era. That was fantastic. That was probably Cole's career high. Except for that time when he headlined the biggest wrestling show ever. That was in AEW. Booker, get the cerebral accomplice's hand out of your arse. Occasionally, I see you on a documentary, like Who Killed WCW and that Mr. McMahon thing, and you've got some occasionally intelligent things to say, but not when you're being told what to say by your daddy. Just to sign off, I'll give you my thoughts on the Mr. McMahon documentary. He was a bad person. Still is a bad person, probably. Spoilers.